Welcome to the Simple Marketing Solutions podcast, the ultimate destination for small service-based business owners looking for help and inspiration with their digital marketing efforts. Our podcast is tailored to provide actionable solutions and ideas for simplifying and automating the marketing process. Whether you're a business owner looking to streamline your marketing strategies or in need of inspiration to take your business to the next level, we've got you covered. Join us as we explore the latest trends and techniques in digital marketing and share tips and tricks to help you grow your business. So tune in and get ready to elevate your marketing game with our process-driven, automation-focused and simplified business model approach. Hello and welcome to another episode in our March Startup Diary series. Real life accounts of starting a business. And today I have the pleasure of having Anik on the show. Anik has been in the health and wellness industry for over 10 years. She started out by helping family and friends learn about health and nutrition and went on to getting certified as a health coach. She currently works exclusively with women who are ready to take action and transform their lives. She helps her clients learn how to build healthy habits and restore balance, losing weight at the same time, giving them the confidence they need to make healthier lifestyle choices. When she's not helping her clients live and transform their lives, she is in her kitchen cooking up a storm with healthy recipes. In 2021, Anik took a huge leap of faith and left her corporate finance job to become a certified holistic health and nutrition coach. She studied herbal medicine and also became a first-degree reiki healer. In 2022, Anik founded Feather and Love Health, which is her beautiful health coaching business. Welcome, Anik. Hello, Anik. I'm so glad that you're here today on the show. It's going to be an exciting one and, a heartfelt conversation today. Yeah. Today, we're getting into our series for March, which is the Startup Diaries, real life accounts of starting a business. And, today we're here to share what it's really like, because often we find that there's these tales of people telling us that it's all amazing and you hit the 6-7 figure business straight away and it's all easy, but they forget the steps that they had to take to get there. And I think that instead of sugarcoating it, being realistic is important for people to hear and to understand so that they can make informed decisions as well. Absolutely. And after saying that, I'd love for you to share a bit about your solopreneur journey and how that started.
Sure. Well, it started a long time ago, but not really consciously. So my health and wellness journey started about 10 years ago when my father was diagnosed with kidney cancer. And while he was having surgery to get the kidney removed, he died for 3 minutes. And what we didn't know was that my father had signed a DNR, so a do not resuscitate form. So a miracle, I guess, if you will. They brought him back to life and he's still doing somewhat well today, but that really kicked off I guess it kind of like it was a huge eye opener. And I remember sitting in the hospital room and looking at him in the bed and thinking, I don't want to end up like this. This is not going to be my life. So through a bunch of different situations, I ended up scrolling on social media on Instagram. About a week after my 15-year career ended, I saw an ad on health coaching, and I never click on ads. But Something was telling me to click on it. And when I started reading, it just like there was so much joy inside. I felt like at peace but excited. And I was like, wow, this is what I want to do. So then I think a week later I signed up and I eventually got certified as a holistic health and nutrition coach. So this is my almost 1 year anniversary, actually, a few days ago. So I've been a health coach for about a year now. So it's been
Well
great. So that's kind of
done.
like small pieces of my journey. There's a lot more that played into it, but I don't want to take too much time. So yeah, that's how it kind of led me to doing this. And just really, first, when I signed up, it was really for myself to find out or to learn about how to be healthy, how I've been dieting most of my life. So for me, it was like, I need to know for good. So that's what I did. And then what I learned, I was like, I need to share this with everyone because it's, it's so simple at the end of the day and anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, in terms of the health coaching, yes, there are simple things that so many people just forget. We
Yeah.
know it, but we don't do it. We don't apply it.
Yeah.
And when you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, I knew that. And you
Hmm.
wonder to yourself
Yeah.
sometimes why you don't do it anymore, or, why you
Yeah.
haven't implemented it.
Yeah.
But, thank you for sharing about your journey. And
Yeah.
it's amazing that it started with that moment with your father.
Yeah.
Oftentimes we have those realizations come up for us when
Yeah.
either we ourselves are sick or somebody we care about is sick, and we're drawn to something else. We start searching for those answers
Yeah.
to try and help as much as possible from every angle when
Mhm.
it comes to our health or theirs.
Yes.
So it's important to listen to those moments as well, and don't just shut it off, because oftentimes I think when we're especially when we're employed, we feel like that's what life has to be, right? That
Yeah.
there isn't any other alternative, even though you might have this amazing idea for a business, or you want to study something different and venture out on your own. It can
Yeah.
feel daunting. I know emotionally it can take its toll when you do start your own business, but there's so many wins there as well. And for you, I know that, there's always a bit of a roller coaster occurring for us as solopreneurs. What has it felt like for you emotionally starting your business and now, successfully hitting the 1 year mark?
Yes. Well, it was quite overwhelming because just going back to my career ending abruptly and not really expecting it. And it was kind of like I was in a panic mode at the same time.
Mm.
But at some point, I took a step back and I told myself, this is a door that's opening to me to finally try something different, because when you have a 9 to 5 career and I was making a very good salary, going from that to unknown, you're most likely going to stay with what you know and what's comfortable.
Mm.
So I was kind of like thrown in it and be like, there you go. Now you can do it. Nothing is stopping you. So yeah, I was going through a lot with that. And I was also excited about learning. And what really, once I got certified, what really got me, I guess, feeling very overwhelmed or kind of like at a loss was when I realized the business part of it. So,
Mm.
I learned about nutrition science, I learned about anatomy and physiology, and nothing had prepared me for the business and the learning curve around that, and how to even just post on social media. I
Mm.
had not been on social media for many years at that point. So just learning how to get that going, which is huge. Like, you don't think of it. You see people posting all the time like that. That's easy. But it's not just about the posting, it's all the work that goes behind it and trying to create something that will attract potential clients, that will help them as well, because that's the whole purpose, that why you're on social media, is to provide information to help people, to make a connection with them. So that was a very difficult. And, a few times, unfortunately, I felt like giving up because it was so hard. And I found you, or we found each other.
Yeah.
And that really, really helped clarify things and put them in perspective, and basically having structure, which is something I did not have before. I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was kind of going at it blindly or copying what other people were doing because they seemed successful. So I told myself, I'll do the same thing, I'll be successful, but it doesn't work that way. You have to be your own self, and you have to stay as authentic as possible, even though it's really hard to be authentic on social media. That's like juggling all of this at the same time, the emotional and the disappointment, because from one week to another, one post is going to be amazing, and then the next, which is a similar post, like barely gets any attention. So it's like, okay, what did I do? But you have to take a step back and realize that it's not you, it's just how it is. So yeah, so I would say a huge learning curve, wearing many hats, feeling overwhelmed a lot, but I don't regret any of it. When I'm sitting with you right now and just remembering my journey, yes, it was hard. Yes, I cried. Yes, I had many sleepless nights, but I learned so much, and I learned how to connect with people in a different way.
Mm.
So yeah, so that's kind of been big picture, a lot of overwhelming, a lot of feeling like there's something wrong with you or what you're doing, because you don't know what you're doing. And especially for new coaches that don't get help, and that they try to do this on their own, and they go and watch masterclass after masterclass and just like putting all the pieces together, which is impossible, unfortunately. You have to find your way. And I would say for most new coaches, it's ideal to get a business coach so that they can give you guidance, a plan, some structure, so that you know where you can go. And then from there, it's just making adjustments left and right. Because this is evolving continuously. It's never going to be, okay, I find this is going to work from now on. No, it's not. So it's also getting into that mindset that is ever changing. So you are ever changing as well, and adapting to what people want, basically, because you're not at their service in a sense of being at their mercy, but you're being of service to people, because really that's my message, is helping women feel better in their skin, feel confident at making healthy food choices or lifestyle choices, just in keeping it simple, because there's too many complicated things in life already. Keeping that simple, and them learning that it's doable is just, it's really amazing to see, women evolve in that sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And being part of that process, and,
Yes.
and showing them that it is easy, that there are
Yeah.
simple strategies,
Mhm.
is rewarding to you as a person as well, and as their
Yeah.
coach. But coming back to, that emotional ups and downs that you've experienced, that feeling of overwhelm, and realizing that you were missing structure
Yeah.
with the business, and that when you were doing your coaching course, which goes for a lot of courses out there, when we're studying, we learn our craft, but we don't learn how to put ourselves out there in a business sense, in a marketing
No.
sense, and actually find clients and pay the
Yeah.
bills and grow a business. Those are the tools I often see that are missing through a lot of curriculums out there, unfortunately. And,
Yeah.
it's up to that individual then to have to go out there and source that added information that they
Mhm.
really need if they're wanting to start their own business. And
Yeah.
like you did, and I agree. I do think that if it is something that you're wanting to start with, if you're thinking of becoming an entrepreneur, solopreneur, equip yourself with the right tools from day one and invest in that business and marketing coaching so that you reduce the amount of stress and overwhelm that you have to go through. And you don't get to that point where you just want to throw in the towel and give up and go back to that, what you know of nine to
Mhm.
five, and
Yeah.
feel like that's the safe option.
Yeah.
And it comes to that point where, Anik, that where I wanted to ask you, and I think you've answered it, but I'll ask anyway, where y- through this journey that you've taken over the last 12 months of starting the business,
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's been really, really tough moments. You've said that, there's nights where you don't sleep, there's
Yeah.
tears, there's all of that. But would you give it up and go back to full-time work and let this business go?
No. And however, I think if going back, I think for most people, what happens, which wasn't really an option for me because I didn't really have a say into if I kept my job or not. But what I've seen other people do is keep their career and do this on the side, but still have an income. Not having an
Mm,
income coming in, that is a huge amount of stress that it's constantly in your mind, like, how am I going to pay my bills next month? So if had I been given the choice, I would have kept my 9 to 5 and started doing that on the side. But again, I probably wouldn't have done it. I would have stayed in my 9 to 5 because it was comfortable, you know. So today, yes, it would have been much easier to have an income, a steady income coming in,
mm,
and really being able to not have that stress in my mind and to focus on the business, because whether you like it or not, or you think it's real or not, income is just, it's such a heavy weight on yourself. And it's kind of like you can't think clearly because it's always here and it's always a stress. So no, I wouldn't go back. I wouldn't. Would I change something? Probably a few things. But again, when you don't know, right? So even when I got my certification, I didn't know that you could hire a business coach to help you out. I thought this was just going to be, I'm going to post and I'm going to get clients left and right, and I'm going to help all these people. But then reality sets in. It's like, whoa, that was really not realistic.
mm,
Doesn't work that way. And health coaching is, what's the word? It's an oversaturated market. There's health coaches left and right. So it's really finding what you personally have to offer to people that's going to be different, because you can have 10,000 coaches saying, hey, you need to lift weights if you want to lose weight, if you want to maintain your muscle mass, and you need to eat vegetables, but each one will say it in a really different way. And a client may love working with me, for example, but will hate working with another person who's saying the same thing or delivering the same service. So it's really finding yourself and not losing yourself when you start coaching, and not going down the path of people pleasing and trying to please everyone, because that's just not realistic either. So you're going to get people that are attracted to you for you, and that's great. You can't have all of them. So yeah,
No.
no, I don't regret. I wouldn't go back. And yeah, I hope that, because I'm still like, my business is, although I got certified in a year ago, I only really got into getting structured and prepared when I started working with you, which was this July approximately.
Yes.
So it's been a
Around
little over a
July.
month.
Yeah.
So my
Yeah.
business is still like a baby.
Yeah.
It's got to learn how to, do things and evolve into what I'm hoping it will become, which is a place where I can really reach people and connect. Well, not people, women specifically, and just really get them to learn a different way and not ever have to go on a diet again or stress about their weight or what they're eating, because it's just so much time wasted, which I personally have. And had I known what I know today, I would have saved myself so much like stress and just self-sabotage, and a few health issues would have been a reality in my life. So yeah.
Yeah. And, you talk about that. If we'd known all of this
Hmm.
before, we wouldn't have gone, we wouldn't have made those mistakes or
Yeah.
gone on that diet,
Yeah.
etc., and, be suffering the results of that as well. And you are in that place where you can reach women that are, considering going on another diet or realizing that something more needs to change, something deeper
Yeah.
needs to change,
Yeah.
and that it doesn't have to be difficult and that they don't have to do it alone. And I think that that's
Oh,
probably the biggest thing for women, especially, is that sense that they have to do it alone, and not
yes.
realizing that there's amazing resources like people like you who are genuinely out there wanting to help and to
Yeah.
show you that there are ways of doing this and being healthier without restrictive diets that control your life and
Mm.
make you feel like you're on this constant yo-yo, life journey where there's no
Mhm.
stability.
No.
So there's a definite need for more people like you, Anik,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
And it's great to hear that, you wouldn't
No.
go back to the 9 to 5.
No.
But I do get that there's many of us out there that have been thrown in the deep end due to
Yeah.
circumstances out of our control when it comes to being employed and losing a job, and then realizing, oh my God, I need to scramble now and put something together and get out there, or go and find another 9 to 5 job. So you're at that crossroads and you get the choice. And I think it's actually an amazing opportunity when you do get a choice and you can say and sit down and say, well, okay, now's my chance. How am
Yeah.
I going to now take this and make this something and put it out there as a business? So, you chose that pathway. And
Yeah.
even through all the ups and downs, you've learned so much, as we do. And I've seen the growth within you, and I've seen, all the changes that have occurred. And it's amazing to witness that and to realize that you are capable. You do have it in you. And it's about the perseverance and consistency that will then get you to the other end, where the business starts to grow and you start to really be in front of your ideal clients, the woman that you really want to be tapping into and helping.
Yeah. And if I can just like give a piece of advice to new coaches or anyone starting
Please.
off a business, it's really remember your why. Remember
Mm.
why you started this. Remember that feeling. Just like for me, I remember the exact moment I was in the living room on my couch just scrolling. And I remember just like, because I was slouched and I remember sitting up, I was like, whoa. So just going back to whatever happened when you realize that this is why I'm doing this. This is how I felt. So I think that's when times get rough and tough and really challenging. go back to that and just
Mm,
remember. And that's
mm,
helped me get through all of it. And sometimes too, when you're too into it, you're too overwhelmed and you're trying to do all these many things, like wearing all these hats. Sometimes you need to take a step back. I've actually taken, I think it was about a month off because
mm.
I was so confused. I didn't know where I was going. I tried something, I really believed in it, but then I lost confidence and I kind of realized that it wasn't in line with what I was trying to do with my business. So that was hard because we put so much work into this. But it was just like I had to let it go and just make room for something better that fits more into what I'm doing and what I'm trying to offer women out there. So,
Yeah. And that's the key. You really got it when you said, remember your why. Because in those moments of overwhelm, of feeling like you want to give up, when
mm,
you remind yourself of the reason why you chose this, why you want to do this, who it is you really want to help, then that is enough. It gives you the strength to be able to buckle down, get clarity, or take that time out to,
yep,
reassess
mm,
everything.
yes,
Because when we are wrapped up in the day to day, it can feel like it's just you're going through that to-do list, but you're not
yes,
looking at the overall picture
yeah.
of how your business fits in
Mhm.
to what you're trying to achieve and who you're trying to help. So being able to take that step back, whether it's a couple of days, a week, a month, whatever it is that you need, whatever time you need to honor that as well and not
Oh yeah.
feel like you're, you know, letting yourself down because you're not doing something. There's so
Oh,
much value in not doing something.
yes.
I remember, I've been reading a book by Dory Clark, which is called The Long Game. And
Oh,
it's something that she encourages. She tells business owners, set time in your diary at least once a week where you just
yeah.
don't do anything. And
No.
it's in those moments of not doing that the realization and the growth really comes. It
Yeah.
allows the subconscious to show you what your potential is and what direction you should be taking. So you have to
Yeah.
be open to that, and you need the space to do that.
Yes. And if you're on your day off or your week off and you have an idea, just write it down and stop there.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Don't
Look at
jump
it
back in front of the
later.
computer.
Yes, because that's what I do. I still do today. I get an idea. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get on Canva and I'm gonna start creating because this is just like it's fresh and I'm excited about it. But I have actually started writing it down in a little notebook instead. Whenever I have an idea for stories or reels or a post, I write it down and
Yeah.
then I choose a day and where when I create my Canva post and all that stuff. And then I choose a different day. Sometimes I do it the day of, but to write the caption, to write what
Mm.
goes with your, and sometimes I do this in advance. And then when it's time to post, I read it and I was like, oh, I don't like this. That's also going to happen. So
Yep.
yeah, it's really being flexible.
Mm.
Yeah. Being
Yeah.
flexible, but also organized and respecting your boundaries of taking that time off because you do need it. And if you don't take it, you're going to burn out like I
Yeah.
did many times.
Yeah.
So you're not better off burning out. Or even sometimes we're just putting out stuff just to put out stuff.
Mm.
But that's not really the point, right? It's not just, it's better to just take a step back and reassess and just for yourself than just putting stuff out there for the sake of putting stuff, which people might get, or most of the time, if you're putting stuff out there that's not of quality or it's not heartfelt, you can tell.
Yes,
So
you
your
can.
audience will be
Yeah.
able to see.
They will. And, people make rash and quick decisions based on that 1 second thing that's in front of them. So if that's consistently in front of them and it doesn't resonate anymore, they're just not going to connect with you anymore either.
Yep.
And you lose that
That's right.
opportunity
Yeah.
rather than you taking that time out, waiting a week, and then putting together your content based on having a clearer mind and
Mhm.
it then actually resonating with the audience that you're wanting to connect with. So really important. And in those moments of overwhelm, again, just like you said, go back to your why.
Yeah.
I think that that's such a clear and important message for everybody to remember and to honor as well. So thank you for reminding us about that.
Yes.
Anik, it's been really amazing to have you here today and just be so open and honest and heartfelt with our audience because, as I said, the month of March is here for us to share openly about what it really is like to be in business and to have a business from startup and as a solopreneur, what that's all about. So I really appreciate you sharing and thank you again.
Well, thank you for having me, Amita. It was a pleasure sharing my experience, and hopefully this will help anyone who is starting on this journey to just don't give up. Don't give up on if you're passionate about this, don't give up.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for listening today. Like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. I hope you find value from today's episode. And remember, if you've got friends and colleagues looking for inspiration as they grow their business, share this podcast with them. Follow me on Instagram at Holistic Vision Consultancy or check out my website holisticvision.com.au. Until next week, to your success, my friend.